today on 15 on 15.
Aruba can expect further growths and developments from the airport as they are already working and anticipating to welcome more visitors. Plus, this artist in this video defines when there is a will, there is truly a way. As well, we discuss restaurant hygiene and the consequences when a venue does not pass an inspection. Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. I'm Yentl Lieuw. Last week, Wednesday, Aruba celebrated the 1 millionth stayover tourist. But this is just the beginning to bigger and better things. The Aruba Airport Authority is already anticipating further growths and have set plans as well as investments in place to prepare. Aruba's airport recently celebrated the milestone of achieving the 1 millionth stayover tourist. The director of Aruba Airport Authority says preparations and investments are already being made, anticipating further growths.
Well, for the past 15, 20 years, the airport's been making regular investments in the capacity and infrastructure of the airport. We believe we're ready for the 1 millionth stayover visitor, and in the years to come, we'll be ready for the 2 millionth and someday maybe the 3 million.
Currently, the infrastructure of the airport does not have the capacity to handle millions of visitors, but with set plans in order, the island will be able to welcome the growth. Keep in mind, Aruba celebrated the number of stayover passengers last week. In reality, the airport received well over 2 million passengers altogether.
We do about between 5,000 and 6,000 passengers a day. Overall, for this year, we should finish about 2.3 million passengers. Obviously, we're celebrating the 1 million stayover visitors, so not all of these passengers are stayovers. Some of them are transit passengers, but we're doing about 2.3 million for 2014.
Very high on the airport's priority list is to make the customs and immigration process as convenient and as hassle-free as possible. They have the ability to do this by taking the revenue from the 1 million tourists to reinvest in the future of the airport.
Overall, our investment strategy for the next 5 years is roughly about 180 million. And some of that might get scaled back or moved back, but that's roughly the next 5 years what we plan to invest here at the airport.
It seems like we can expect to see further development and moments worthy of celebrating from the airport. In other local news, the Department of Public Works, together with the government, have plans to install parking meters in downtown Oranjestad. This would ultimately impact not only shoppers, but the merchants as well as employees of Main Street. Parking can be chaotic in downtown Oranjestad. In an effort to better control the parking system in the area, parking meters are scheduled to be implemented by the end of February 2015. 18 officers have been assigned already to verify drivers have paid for their parking spot for the allotted time. Merchants in Oranjestad told ATV they are skeptical regarding the new policy, fearing this new system will drive customers away. Employees who work in Oranjestad are concerned with having to pay 8 hours for the days they work. The Department of Public Works says new parking places are being built in the area. However, as someone who works in downtown every day, I have yet to see the progress. ATIA spoke out at a recent press conference voicing their disappointment in the Department of Public Works for not completing the new parking spaces first prior to implementing the parking meters. And cameras can do a lot nowadays. The Marriott Hotel on the island came up with a clever way to promote the island as well as their property in a very unique fashion. Last week, the second edition of the Vloggers Film Festival was held. This is one of the videos that was submitted for the Vloggers Film Festival. 4 video bloggers, together with 4 journalists, were paired up in teams of 2 and were invited by the Aruba Marriott Resort to capture the essence of the destination of Aruba and the resort on video. The groups received the assignment to film and edit the content in 3 days and presented at the Vloggers Film Festival on day 4. Each team used their own creativity to showcase what they thought of the island. A judges panel of 4 was invited to choose the best video based on the criteria of creativity, uniqueness, ability to showcase the resort, and create curiosity for others. Now, each of the videos can be viewed on the Aruba Marriott's YouTube channel as well as their Facebook page. We'll be right back. Stay with us. When we return, the health benefits of bathing in beer. Welcome back from the break, and thanks for staying tuned to 15 on 15. Art can be done in many different art forms. One artist truly showed her creativity when she was put in a situation where she could no longer do what she loved, which was drawing. Her hands and fingers were injured due to stress. She turned to a more unlikely body part, which is incredibly creative. She is the epitome of when there is a will, there is certainly a way. Take a look at this.
I'm Michelle, and I have a different way of designing. I try and use my arms as little as possible, and for that reason, I've developed several techniques that allow me to create images and illustrations without straining my hands. I use the tip of my nose to draw on a trackpad, but I also perform certain gestures using my lips. I've been doing this now for several years, and I can achieve the same level of accuracy as with my hands. There are certain techniques that are easier for me, such as vector drawings, and this has also influenced my design style these last few years. I hope this video gives someone else inspiration.
Moving forward, are you afraid of heights? Well, your grandparents may be to blame for that. New research into the ways that humans develop phobias has come upon a surprising theory. It could be genetics. According to researchers at the Emory University School of Medicine, memories can be passed down between generations via genetic switches and chemical changes in DNA that make experiences a kind of inherited trait. The study found that mice subjected to the smell of cherry blossom passed on a fear of the odor using shocks before they were allowed to mate. The offspring showed fear characteristics upon being subjected to cherry blossom, despite never encountering it before. So, the root of an irrational fear could be in something that happened to our ancestors. Results allows researchers to appreciate how the experiences of a parent before even conceiving offspring markedly influence both structure and function in the nervous system of subsequent generations. Switching gears, Aruba has plenty of spas. Perhaps spa owners would consider diving into the idea of this beer bath for customers. Check it out. Beer bathing is a new spa treatment taking over the United States. It is the ingredients in the bath that makes all the difference, they say. Also, the copper tub you see here isn't just for looks. Copper has the ability to balance out the negative and positive ions in our bodies. This treatment has been around for centuries in Europe, but it just started trending in North America. For $80, you get 50 minutes of treatment, part sauna, part beer bath. The treatment detoxifies and purifies the body. It exfoliates and hydrates the skin. It makes the hair shiny and silky. That's not all. There's also a relaxing beer face rub and beer body rub as options. The beer treatment is said to also be good for insomnia, irritability, prevent acne, and more. They call it the fountain of youth. Let's take a very quick break. This is what's coming up next. Restaurants have a responsibility to ensure patrons' health and well-being. Details coming up. Food inspectors on the island are responsible for the well-being of the patrons who visit restaurants. With Aruba's culinary experience being a vast one, it is imperative for restaurant owners as well as chefs to maintain hygiene and have a sense of responsibility to ensure food safety. We spoke with the acting chief of the hygiene department at the Department of Public Health to find out more. When it comes to a year-end review on the cleanliness of the restaurants on the island, some scored better than others. Fortunately, though, by the end of the year, more restaurants met the Department of Public Health's standards.
We have done several inspections during the year, and we can compare from the beginning of the year until the end of this year. In the beginning, we have the inspection, and in the beginning it was around 50% of the restaurant we have closed, and the last inspection that we have done, we have closed around 20% of the inspection.
Besides for ensuring the health of patrons, restaurant owners have another incentive to be hygienic, and that is for profit and being able to keep the place open for business. Depending on the circumstances, a restaurant can be shut down for business for up to 48 hours, but if the situation is dire and the venue repeatedly fails their inspections, they can be closed for up to a week or until progress has been made.
The maximum sanction that we can do is we can close the restaurant, and we can close it for maximum 48 hours, 2 days. But it can be less than 48 hours. It's about when we do our inspection, it depends how the place is. And as a food inspector, we can judge. And if we judge that the place is hygienic, it's very bad, then we will then take the maximum sanction is to close the place for 48 hours. It depends.
Yvette Herman from the Department of Hygiene has tips for restaurant owners for a surefire way to prevent violating rules as well as regulations.
I advise the restaurant owners that they have everything in place because they are dealing with the health of the person. It's very important. It's very important that especially the kitchen, it's hygiene, it's clean, and also how they prepare their food, and the personnel that are working with the food, they are clean. Their hands are clean. That they wash their hands every time after they have used the bathroom.
There you have it. Be sanitary or be shut down. That is all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching. We'll be back here tomorrow night with a brand new edition of 15 on 15. We'll see you then.